for Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. Guess we can do regular roll call this time. So, man, I haven't done this in a while. I'm used to it all being online. I know I was. Erin Carrier, here. Oh, I know, we used to have the person who was recording.
Yeah, we have that.
We have that, so we have to do ourselves. Okay.
Shane Harrington, present.
Monroe, present.
Mike Colley, present.
Joel Hecker, present.
You're up, Amy. Are you here?
Amy Hargrove, present.
Excellent. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yeah, you know, I'd like to combine, 7 and 8 in one just larger presentation.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have approval of the minutes from our meeting October 19th, 2022?
I motion to accept the minutes from the meeting from from our last meeting,
October 19th?
October 19th.
Second.
Excellent. All in favor of approving the minutes from October 19th, 2022 meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome.
Okay, FYI, can I jump in here now? So we don't have a recording secretary anymore. That's, the company that's been doing it for us for the last 25 years. She is retiring, so, we're bringing that back in-house.
Oh.
She's saving a little money, through the city clerk's office. They're hiring an assistant city clerk to help with that. And every meeting is recorded like this. So basically, so they don't have to come to every single city meeting, which is like every night of the week, every week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They go back and they actually, take minutes off of watching meetings and do it that way. Then they send it, who's our, department administrative person. She reads it and proofs it, and then it comes to me, and I read it and proof it. And then it goes back to her, and then it comes back to you. So it gets checked and double checked, and then you're the final check, and then it's approved and becomes city record.
Was that the process for this set of minutes? Okay. Occasionally, we have a little side banter that doesn't go in the minutes,
Yes,
so I'm
they're
glad
not-
there's a
they're
process
not
to.
verbatim minutes, so it's not like you,
Excellent.
everything's exactly as you said it.
Good to know.
Zoom meetings actually transcribe the meeting if you set it up.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Okay, so do we have any public comment tonight? I don't see anybody online.
There's a third person there.
There?
It says participants, 3.
Oh, there it is. You have to oh.
Are they waiting in the,
Oh,
the
maybe that,
attendee? There's one attendee.
that says Amy Hargrove, and below it
Yeah,
says CEO.
Yeah.
Up top in the grayed out.
In the attendees area. There you go.
Okay. So no public comment. Introduction of new commissioners. So I think there's enough new and old people. We should just all introduce ourselves, and then everybody knows everybody. I don't know, what should we say? Name, a little bit about yourself, why you're interested in being on the Parks Commission. My name's Erin Carrier. I've been on the Parks Commission for, I don't remember how long, 10 or 12 years or something like that. And I grew up in Tomar, and then I moved away, and then I came back and raised my daughter, and now she's moved away, and I love soccer. And soccer is like my passion sport, and I'm not really involved in it anymore now that my daughter's grown up, and I don't play anymore either, but I think that's it. Sure, let's go this way.
Okay, my name is Shane Harrington. I lived in Eastern Washington for a very long time, and soccer was very popular over there. I've been over in this area about 7 years now. We live over in Brush Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
in that area, and Pioneer Park is very close, so lots of soccer there. I enjoy being involved in serving the community, and I think that the Parks Commission is a great way to do that. So I'd like to get more involved, and I've been on the commission for a year, but this is my first in-person meeting, so it's kind of nice.
What part of Eastern Washington did you live in?
Tri-Cities.
Okay.
In fact, I was just there working the last few days, and then I work kind of all over the state, Oregon as well. But I didn't want to do a Zoom meeting tonight, so I wanted to drive within the speed limit, and so I kind of raced back to get here and make sure that I was here. So it's good to see everybody in person.
Yeah, I can see you too. Joe?
Joe Monroe, moved to Tumwater in 2006, grew up north in King County. Daughter of 15, son 11, civic duty, and served in some other capacities previously, not with the city, but same, want to serve and want to participate in the community as a whole, so my first meeting, many to go, I'm sure.
Excellent.
Mike Cully, I moved to Tumwater back in 2010, originally from LA, and then I was in the military, and moved up here for all tech work, which is what I still do now. See, my son is now 20, and my daughter is going to be 18 this year. I know, Todd's over shaking his head. I know, it's amazing. They've gone to Tumwater school since they were in kindergarten, so we've been here for a long time. I've done the commission, Parks Commission now, I want to say at least 5 years.
It's been a long time.
Maybe a little longer now.
Longer. I think it's longer than that.
Yeah, I think 2016, I think is when it was. I love the outdoors. I do a lot of stuff in the summertime when the weather's nice. So that's why I love serving the community, the city, schools. So that's why I love Parks Commission.
You spend a lot of time with the Tumwater Youth Programs, right?
I sure do.
You're still doing that? Yep.
About every Friday when TYP is going on, you'll find me there. Myself and Charlie and Todd and everybody else, and that's volunteering. We love spending our nights on Fridays with 300 kids. It's the best.
I'm Joel Hecker. I've lived here in Tumwater 5 years, from Ohio. Moved here from there. I was on the tree board for the past 2 years, and I'm a geologist / hydrogeologist guy. I work in the environmental cleanup world. So parks are kind of near and dear to me. I live right next to Pioneer Park also, and I just feel like this fits much more of my interest line than the tree board did, so it's kind of a natural transition. There was an opening here to on this side of things. I have a 2-year-old daughter, so a little bit opposite end of the spectrum with the kids, and it keeps me busy. So
they grow fast.
Escape a little bit too. So.
Awesome. Amy, your turn.
Yeah, I'm Amy Hargrove. Sorry I'm not there tonight. But I have been on the board, I don't know, not as long as Aaron, but a long time. And we've been in Tumwater since 2006 and raised 2 kids in Tumwater. My kids are 18 and 21 right now. So, I kind of got on the Parks Board. I'm also in the cleanup world, and with the Department of Ecology, I was spending a lot of time cleaning up parks in the Tacoma area, and so I don't know, got recruited to try and be on the Parks Board, and I've enjoyed it. Mostly I was interested at the time because we have a park in our neighborhood, and I'm very interested in getting more trails put into our city. So, thanks.
I guess I like more than just soccer. Actually, I've done a lot of backpacking the last few years, so. Now that my daughter's out of the house and I have more time for myself, that's what I've been doing. Let's see, so Brewmaster's House.
Before we get there, I don't.
Oh, yeah. You haven't met them either?
What?
I'm sorry. I thought Chuck had met everybody.
Normally I do interviews with the mayor the day.
Yeah, I totally, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm Chuck Denny, I'm the director of Parks.
Okay, gotcha. And then.
I thought I was a recreation manager.
Okay, gotcha, sure. Okay.
And I'm not so big in soccer, but, you know.
Swimming.
We go round and round, yeah.
Okay, So,
I'd want to put
Brewmaster.
these two items together. So
Brewmaster and
project will go together, because
Okay.
it'll just be, so everything works out. Amy, can you see that?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna play it like that then.
No animations while on the call.
Wow. Okay, so, we have a number of projects within the department this year. Once again, I would say, through the process that we just completed, we starting a new year budget. So in 22, we listed all of the, well, not all of the things, but many of the things we thought we needed, and things we thought we needed to accomplish in the department, this year, next year. Fortunately, unfortunately, a lot of those got funded. So we're at the point where, you know, it's a little bit questionable whether we're gonna, with the staff we have, if we're gonna be able to finish all of those. But we have a lot of exciting things coming. So I thought I would run through those with you tonight and tell you what's happening at Park. So starting with Pioneer Park, we're gonna be installing asphalt speed bumps. We have played around off and on at Pioneer Park with different kinds of speed bumps and recycled plastic speed bumps and different ways to adhere speed bumps to asphalt and things like that. And typically, well, in every case, within a year or so, it hasn't worked. So we're going to hire an asphalt company and actually have them come in and do several asphalt speed bumps throughout that park. It's a huge parking lot, 508 parking spaces, and at times people get going pretty fast through there. So that'll be a good addition. We're adding a drinking fountain and some irrigation. It's not actually a $14,000 drinking fountain.
Gold plated.
To the baseball field.
it's okay.
There's no water there, so we're adding water lines, to a drinking fountain. We're also extending some water lines for irrigation, between the fields there.
Question, on the drinking fountain, is there a bottle filler?
Yes. We have, yeah, we'll see how that goes. We have a bottle filler drinking fountain right now near the picnic shelter at Pioneer Park. It's also near the sand volleyball courts, which turns into great paste for kids if you can carry the sand over and put it in the drinking fountain bowl, and then you can build stuff.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, it's a constant problem there, but, yeah, it's one of those things. We are retrofitting all the parking lot lights to LED. So, sodium vapor to LED, so that'll be a great, and eventually a cost saving. And then lastly, we're putting roofs on the dugout. Unfortunately, in our area, that's as much for sun as it is for rain. So we only have one dugout now that has a roof on it. Putting the roof on the other three fields. Very nice for the participants. Historic Park. Gazebo restoration. There is a gazebo on the east side of the park that it's an old picnic table with a A-frame roof on top of it, and that's all it is. The roof's just a little bit bigger than the table. It's not a concrete pad, and it looks out towards the old brew tower. So table's rotten, roof joists are rotten. We're going to replace that whole thing with a slightly bigger, certainly a lot nicer place to go and sit down. Putting asphalt speed bumps there as well. Historical Park, the way it lays out with the play structure being on one side of the park and the bathrooms being on the other side of the park, we frequently get kids running back and forth with, of course, you're not going to look. So speed bumps are up with that as well. And we've been trying to replace parking lot lights since 2021 at Historical Park. It's in the city's historical district. It's called Historical Park. We ordered these really cool historical replica street light things to replace the ones that have been there since 1980, and we're still waiting for them to arrive.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Any day, but I'm sure that will happen this year. Isabella Bush Park, are you guys familiar with where this is? Isabella Bush Park? Linwood Avenue, or Linwood Avenue, okay.
Where
You know
Michael
where,
Peters is?
you know where Michael Peters Elementary is?
I don't.
Or the
School district office?
Okay, I know where.
fire station?
Fire station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Armory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just down there.
West by a quarter mile in Linwood,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's about a couple hundred feet from my house.
All right.
So this is a park we have an agreement with, Tumwater Fresh and the Tumwater School District, have a youth farm. So it's a park, it's a stormwater treatment, a large stormwater treatment facility, and it's a youth farm. So the park itself isn't developed yet, although the building plans are done, the design is done, we just haven't funded it and haven't had time to do it yet. The farm itself, is for kids from Black Hills High School and Tumwater High School, kids that normally, aren't doing well or may not be on a path to graduate, not functioning well in the typical school environment. They have an opportunity to be part of the FRESH program. They go and they learn, not just how to grow carrots, but the whole realm of, working with other kids, working with the teacher, planning, financing, taking care of something with a crop with other people, communication skills. It's a phenomenal program. And every year they bring in a new batch of kids, and I see, I look at them and you think, geez, there's just no way. This particular kid with, green hair and tattoos and rings everywhere and doesn't seem to care about life in general. I don't know how they're gonna do it. And then by the end of the year, it'll be that kid that'll come and stand in front of the city council and talk about, what an experience they had, and they're gonna graduate, and the parents are crying. It's just a very, very cool program. So we're not doing a lot here. We've put about $150,000 into this barn to get it to where it is today. We're gonna put another $8,500 in to upgrade the electrical for them.
Does the school district fund some of that?
Yeah, they fund staff to do it, the teacher and the assistant.
At that park, I'm curious about the plan for development. You said there is a plan. I'm not sure that I've seen it. Is it a play structure, or is it
No.
what type? I mean, I know
It's
there's
really,
a
it's very
trail.
much a passive park. All the development is from, the creek, which is kind of where that picture was taken.
Mm-hmm.
There's a creek right here at the bottom of this picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that spot to, Linwood Avenue, so that spot south is where the park development is. And it's really just paths and parking and planting areas, an interpretive garden. Things that we can maintain and take care of, whereas
Okay.
right now it's just kind of wildland.
Okay.
Right, because it was two areas inside that park. There was the parking area, and then inside the water retention area, there's like a mound that was cleared away for a possible picnic table, possible play structure up in that area too. But Chuck's referring to the parking lot area
Right.
renovation,
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
yeah,
the sign moving and all
there's
that.
a house there, we tore that down.
Mm-hmm. Remember that?
So there's no formal recreation there, so no toys, no.
Okay.
What size
Just put it into place.
acreage?
I think it's 9.2 acres.
The loop is a third of a mile around.
Yeah.
There's a nice little
So,
trail.
so the storm pond itself was built, early 90s. Tumwater Hill was developing, before there were houses and apartments all over Tumwater Hill, the problem was, it's a bedrock kind of hill. If people started building there, what were we gonna do with all the water? Groundwater, stormwater. And there was nowhere for it to go. So the city invested in this property, half with park money, half with public works money, or stormwater money. And part of the project was to build that giant storm pond so that as all the water came down to Tumwater Hill, it could filter there and infiltrate and be treated before it ended up in Percival Creek. Reserve Park.
Yay!
Yay.
This is, yesterday.
Yesterday, really?
Reserve
Wow.
Park. Just poured this concrete, so all this red, concrete, or they pumped it yesterday. So it's coming right along. This is another park that suffers from, supply issues. The picnic shelter, which goes right here in this little square, isn't here yet. I got an email today that it might be here on Monday. Of course, holiday for us, and it's also a holiday for the contractor, so no one's going to be here to accept it, so we're working through that. And then we have an install issue, but other than that, the play toy, which is this big, shape right here, the play toy's not here. I ordered both of those last October, knowing this was gonna be a problem, so I thought, well, surely if I order it in October, it'll be here by February, but.
All right, where's this one at? I don't know this one.
The Preserve Park is south of the airport. It's a 600 home, single-family home development just south of the airport off of, Third.
Mm-hmm. Just for 93rd, yep.
So neighborhood park, it serves not just the preserve, but it's really that whole section. Rob Rex Homes has a big development there as well.
Charlie Schneider says on Friday, the residents are getting excited. His words.
He walks by this about once an hour to check on it. So basically, we've got some great trees, that are going in this park. Play toy, some climbing boulders, picnic shelter, half-court basketball court. We may put pickleball lines on this.
Ooh.
That would
But we're not
be,
gonna-
Oh, you're spoiling them now.
I'm gonna put a permanent net there, so there's an issue with that. There's a turf area, there's some boulders here as well. There's a 3-person, concrete slide right here, which is something new for us. There's going to be a zip line across this area. That's not here either. And then we have about an acre and a half that is in the, this is a storm treatment pond. Typically, I've seen water in it twice. So you can see they're cutting in for trenching for irrigation. We're gonna irrigate that and hydroseed it and grow it like grass, similar to what we do at Pioneer or the Golf or Yager Park, where it can go underwater. But for most of the year, it will be useful.
So Chuck, were we gonna put the, restroom in, I guess, later on then? Like
No
we did
restroom
with
in this park.
the street, huh?
No restroom at this.
No restroom in this park, okay. Oh,
We met with the neighborhood several times, to come up with this design, and
they didn't want a restroom.
they didn't want a
did they?
restroom, like we did at T Street. Valley View Park.
Give them a year, they'll
Yeah.
want a restroom.
Yeah, they'll want a restroom,
The ones with the toddlers that
yeah.
live 3 blocks away will be like, oh, I
They'll
wish
be
there was
asking
a
for a
restroom.
restroom.
Yep.
Is it plumbed for a restroom down the road? Because we don't have one, period.
Sewer, water,
All inside.
everything's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The city basically got, what, 3 plots of land that were in that?
Four.
Four plots of land, so it's all set.
Yeah, this thing that's come together is nice. This is something I've been working on for probably
Pre-COVID,
8
Mhm.
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The homeowners association funding it or contributing it? Okay. So it is a city park,
The city park, yeah,
embedded inside of a housing development.
correct.
All right.
Yeah. Jim Brown Park, there's just a few things going on here this year. Jim Brown Park, from the city's public works site, many, many years ago. Did you work
I
there?
worked there,
Yeah.
I did.
Used to be Quonset hut, and all of Public Works worked out of that. That is a city block up on Tumwater Hill on, Fifth and State.
Yep.
And it has an underground stream that goes underneath the park, and it comes,
By underground stream, you just mean like in a conduit kind of thing?
not really, no, it's more groundwater that just flows under the ground. We catch some of it at the tennis court, because it flows right down towards the tennis court. So we have a giant French curtain drain, at the end of the tennis court. We send it towards the, Plateway. So, it comes across the park right here. You won't see it. There's a giant, French drain in the bottom of this Plateway, and then it flows out to the, storm sewer. So there are times when that gets plugged and this whole play apparatus will be underwater. Wow. That's going to take. But, we're having problems with it plugging up towards the tennis court, so we're gonna put some money into that this year. Summer Hill Park, this is a new trail, and you can see the cover with it. Picture-wise, the trail's coming up here, and it turns a corner and it keeps going up here. This connects the Somerset side or the west side of Tumwater Hill with the top. So we now have 5 different trailheads that surround the entire hill to get from the bottom to the top. So kids walking to school, people wanting to use the ball field or just get exercise and go out. Every neighborhood around the park now can use this. This is something that's paid for through park impact fees, and that's a fee that, similar to the preserve, every time a new house is built, they pay, your typical single-family house will pay about $3,500 in park impact. So, something like the preserve where you have 600 houses and every single room pay $3,500. That's how we build a park like that. Tumwater Hill has seen, rapid development over many, many years. We have a lot of money in the Tumwater Hill account for park impact fees. So this is one of the projects that was paid for.
Maps at the trailheads, over the trails yet?
With that?
Is there gonna be maps at the trailheads?
Yes. Our GPS people are supposedly GPSing this now, and they're gonna we have a map already, they're gonna add this to that map along with the distance set on there, and then we'll have trailheads.
Like the lost ones.
So there's another project that was dragged on for probably 10 years, formerly owned. This section of the hill is formerly owned by the Somerset Neighborhood Association, which is across the street. A fund had talked them into donating it to the city so that, one, they didn't have to pay property tax on it, but 2, they didn't have to have the liability of owning it or taking care of it. So they eventually did. And then we had to do geotech studies and all kinds of stuff to get this permitted. But turned out great. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It is getting used, so.
So the trailhead signage is something that our commission, we get a chunk of money each budget cycle. And that was one of the things we voted on at our last meeting, was to fund the trailhead signs for that park. And so we now have a new chunk of money. How much is it, Chuck? 20,000 a year?
20,000.
Yeah. So, they're really busy right now, so they won't have anything they want money for right now. But
They can ask for money, but we couldn't spend it.
exactly, you don't have the personnel to actually spend it to finish the project. So, they'll come to us eventually with some requests, and then we get to decide what the priorities should be.
So the rest of Tumwater Hill Neighborhood Park, which is now almost 35 acres. And we started it 1994 with 9 acres. And we slowly purchased land or gotten land donated or quit claim to us. So it's now almost 35 acres. So all the trees that you see particularly on the back side or the south side of Tumwater Hill, that's all parkland now. So we've done a pretty good job of acquiring it at land, preserving a whole bunch of trees and putting a trail system through there. The original trail was done in 1994, and it's in so shape. We're going to spend about $30,000 this year to redo some of that trail, some of the stairs that come down from the elementary school, and then widen back out some of the other spots in the trail, but put new surfacing. Trails End Park. Did you guys talk about that at tree board at all, Trails End Park? Okay, so you may or may not know, about 5 years ago, we purchased the Trails End, the Trails End Horse Arena and the property associated with that. One for parkland, and then also for a new public works facility. So where we keep all of our dump trucks, backhoes, snowplow, all that stuff. along with the staff that goes with it. They're currently located right behind City Hall. So as this area has developed with office building and housing and things like that, that's not really a compatible use, and it won't be a compatible use in the future as we see more housing going in. And there's more housing proposed right now that's going through permitting that's right behind Water City Hall, behind the Public Works shop. So the city's intent was to move that out, modernize it, move it out to somewhere else that wasn't so much in the center of what we call the city. So you see on the left side of that picture, this side of the picture is the new Public Works facility. And then this side of the picture is the park facility. So if you're thinking back, if you ever went to the Trails Den, the horse arena used to be right here. And there was a barn over here, and there used to be an office building right here that we took down. There's still a barn right here, and there were barns here, and we took those down as well. So the only thing remaining on this site right now is a barn right here that we store some stuff in. So this is your next assignment. We are, in fact, I'm looking at a space tomorrow. We're going to have a public meeting with the neighborhood that surrounds where this facility is going to be. We've hired Bob Droll, landscape architect, to work with us on designing a new park facility, design this park facility. And the way we do that is Bob and I will set some parameters about what a neighborhood park is and what is not. That we'll have examples of what's typically in a Tumwater neighborhood park, and you've just seen that, whether it's you run down the list of the typical stuff. You have play toy, picnic shelter, some kind of a sports court. You might have a small athletic field, youth soccer, youth baseball, but you wouldn't put in a skate park or a dog park or pickleball court. Multiple pickleball courts would be questionable. Anything that will, in a neighborhood park, you don't want to put in anything that's going to be a regional draw. So dog park's a great example. These people are going to, I'm sure, when we have our meeting, these people are going to come and say, we want a dog park, not realizing that everybody from South County is going to drive to their neighborhood and park on their streets and run their dogs around and then leave. And that's what we don't want. It is a neighborhood park, typically meant to serve the people that live around it. Now, it's paid for by city funds, right? So city funds come from everyone. And so everyone can use it if they want to, but hopefully they'll have a neighborhood park that's not all that different in their neighborhood that they could use, rather than having to drive to the other side. So we try to keep it, every park has something that's a little bit unique, but we don't want to make it so unique that it becomes a. So what we'll do, we'll have a public meeting, and we'll do social media posts, and we'll send direct mailers to everybody that lives in all those houses over by the Trails End, and we'll say, this day, this time, come talk with city staff about what you want to see in your new neighborhood park. That's where you guys come in. So the way we do it is we'll have A-boards, easels, keyboards, and things like that around a room. It's not a meeting where we come and we put people in chairs and preach to them about what a neighborhood park is. I might do an intro of some kind. I'm sure I will. And then we just invite people to go around and go to their almost like stations and talk about, here's what I'd like to see. Why don't you do this? How come you don't want to do this? Or, I don't want a neighborhood park. I don't want anybody to have a loose dog. I don't want this. I want parking. I don't want, on and on and on.
I don't want the Public Works facility.
Well, that'll be a big one.
We're gonna hear that.
That's not our mission.
We're still gonna hear it, but.
So what I would like is for you guys to come and in ones or twos, be at stations and just talk to people. Talk to people about what they want, what they won't want. Hopefully what they want will outweigh what they don't want, but there are a number of very vocal people who are adamantly opposed to the Public Works facility. So in a way, the park is kind of a carrot to say, well, you're getting this great park, but you're also getting the Public Works facility.
When is that scheduled?
It's going to be towards the end of March.
Okay.
So we just finished a contract with Bob Droll. I'm trying to nail down the room tomorrow morning, and then we'll know. So we may do it in place of your regular March meeting.
Okay.
But we also have some business that we need to conduct in March. So I haven't quite figured that out yet.
I'm pretty sure we could handle 2 meetings in 1 month.
Okay.
Haven't had one in a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How do you determine the geographic area that gets to contribute to, or weigh in? I know the city, the entire city could, but you said send mailers. I know there's development to the south, an older development to the east. Where is like, when you send out mailers, how far does that reach?
This one will go probably from Henderson Boulevard to 93rd, and then from 99 to the city limits.
No parking at this facility, at the park?
It's street parking, lots of street parking. See, and this will be the rub that you'll hear from people, there's a parking lot right here, right here.
Yeah.
Not necessarily configured this way, but, you know, there will be some kind of a parking facility here. That's to serve this building, for staff and visitor parking. And just because it wouldn't, with all the things they need over here, it wouldn't fit over here, so, we're putting it on this side. There'll be some ADA parking on this asphalt, but there won't be any parking, and it will be gated.
Oh, it will.
Ooh.
I was thinking once staff leaves at, 5:30, 6 o'clock at night,
People
then
could park there, yeah.
people could park there.
But you're gonna gate it to avoid that, which is important.
So it's a giant site, most of it is dry. There's a kettle, which is a big depression, in the back right here, that, probably won't be anything at first. There'll be the standard trees on this side, that will save on the property. And others are just flat, some of it's paved, some of it's gravel. Currently, we haven't found any pocket gophers there. Oh, my gosh. So let's stay with that.
How many acres will that park be?
Almost 10 acres. So a park, we're paying just over $1 million for the park at the preserve, between buying the land and building the park. And it's 2.5 acres. So our ability to, develop 9 acres isn't very realistic in one phase building this park. So I would anticipate that this will probably be a phased project. We'll come up with a master plan, and then and you'll be a part of that. We'll chop it up, say, okay, we can afford to spend $1 million right now, and then in 2 more years, we're gonna spend another $500,000. Does that make sense? Should we borrow the money and do the whole thing at once? Does it make sense to phase it over 5 years? How do we wanna do it? It really depends on the design and what our intent is, what we wanna do there. And, really the start of that is to ask people to live there what they want.
Is the public works going in before or after the park?
Hopefully at the same time, as a cost savings, just to have the whole thing torn up at once. We're also doing improvements to, the road in the front, and we're putting a roundabout at,
Well, 99 and 73rd.
Oh,
yeah.
that'll be good. That intersection gets tricky.
So, exciting project. We'll build it in, right now we're saying we're gonna build it in 2024. I'm guessing it's really probably gonna be 2025. That goes, it's paid for with Metropolitan Park District funds, not out of the city's capital facilities plan.
Are those kettles, natural formations?
Yes.
Because there's another one in the middle of the neighborhood, Bush Prairie neighborhood, and I always wondered
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, and they go all the way up through Briggs Development.
As the geologist, I'll be happy to.
There you go.
I almost asked you,
I wanna talk
Joel.
about the needs about next, honestly.
Fill me in afterwards.
Right.
So Chuck, is this project gonna now be done before the new park behind Tumwater Middle School?
Yes. This has a lot more political
Because of
punch
the
behind
public
it.
works issue.
Well, yeah, they want the public works
Yeah.
building built.
Yeah, and really that's, land behind the middle school, that we've had since 1995 as a neighborhood park.
It's pushed out
I'm
even
anxious
more,
to
even
get
though we
that.
have the park district money,
It
it's
at
still gonna
least
get
has
pushed out.
funding now.
Yes.
So
The
what
park
that's gonna
district.
come down to, and we'll talk about that in a second, but as we go to community center construction, and we're gonna raise the park impact fee, the Metropolitan Park District fee throughout the city, I think we'll quickly find that we don't have enough money for a community center. So then the Metropolitan Park Board, which is actually the city council sitting in different chairs, will have to make a decision on what they want
Which
to
is
fund.
more important than,
Yeah, or if they want to add funding from, the general fund, because, or a utility fund can still help fund Metropolitan Park District projects. We can combine money from a variety of sources, so there's some options. That's gonna be a fantastic park, and I really want to get it done, but,
yeah, so I think our original timeline was to start in 2024.
Well, that whole plan was built
Right.
before COVID.
For COVID,
So
right.
everything stopped for a couple years, so
And
everything's
it got
gonna be
pushed in a little
fine.
more, and now a little more, so, okay.
so more to come on this. After we figure out date, time, and all of that, then I'll get that info to you. We'll probably, for that public meeting, we'll probably meet like a half hour before the public comes on site. So I can go through, okay, here's how it's gonna go, and here's what we know people are gonna say, and here's what you should say. And generally, you're a sounding board and a recorder, and just giving people somebody that they can talk to, somebody that they can see is listening to them. Your park commissioner, that's somebody important to them.
You don't have to have all the answers, so.
Don't say yes.
Yeah, that's a very good point. No
I talked to Chuck.
We'll make sure that's on the list of
Yeah.
priorities.
Amy, how's it going?
It's good.
Okay. Let me know if you have questions. Okay, let's
I
move on to
will.
the Brewmaster's house. Okay. Everybody familiar with the Brewmaster's house?
Yes.
Used to be called the Harrison House. Okay. So we had, on the 21st, we had an arson at, the house at about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I explained that to you a little bit. Here's the back side of the house, and just to give you some direction. There's a room in the bottom of the house right here that is really a cinder block room, and it's a standalone room. This is the only access to it through this door. That held a bunch of old event supplies from when we used to have festivals and things related to the historic program. It also held all of the IT infrastructure for this house, also for the Crosby House, and for the old Brew Tower, which is just across. Second floor, this is the main level of the house. There's a storage room in the back. When the house was originally built, this was a patio. At some point, 50s, 60s, it was enclosed and turned into a back room off of the kitchen. And then on the top floor up here is a bedroom that we had always used as office space, and a volunteer area where volunteers would help us log things into the computer from the city's historical archive. I'm not sure how these photos go. So the fire was started, let me back up to that. The fire was started right here, and it started from a gentleman who was living across the street next to the freeway wall. We have a great video of him walking across the street with a torch and lighting the torch as he's walking, just nonchalant, and he just walks around the back of the house and sets it on fire. And then he walks away and turns his torch off and goes back across the street. And, we gave that video footage to the police, and they walked across the street. He was still wearing the same clothes, and they said, "Hey, we know you do this," and he said, "Yeah, I did it." And they took him to jail. So, and that's where he is still. Fire made its way around the bottom of the house here, and it really took off right here. So it burned into that bottom storage room, destroyed. Floor joists, everything.
Wow.
Fire hoses right into the room, IT equipment, all of that. Back porch, same kind of thing, everything in this room destroyed. And then up in the office room upstairs, our department had to tear into the walls to make sure that the fire wasn't in the wall cavities. So there's a fair amount of damage in that.
1890s or what?
1905. It's a little closer, this is the downstairs storage room. The wall's gone, you can see there's a shelf that was holding stuff within that room. This is,
The wall is gone.
this is the actual floor of, between the floors. So that's the floor of the, you know. Police did a fantastic job that day, immediately shut down the Parkway, fire came, we had a whole bunch of fire departments came, and Tumwater Fire got it put out fairly quickly. They said, you know, another 10 minutes or so, it would have made its way to the attic and the house would have been toast.
It was got, the attic was gone.
So they caught it in time, and they kept the damage to the backside of the house. You see a picture on the right, that's our staff from facilities buttoning up the structure. Fire department broke in every door, so 5 doors in the house, wood doors, wood frames, so those are broken out. They secured those doors. This is the back storage room off of the kitchen. So this is looking out towards where those other pictures were taken. This is looking from the kitchen. You can see the smoke damage on this door, kitchen into that room. We had folding chairs and a bunch of event supplies, tables, stuff like that stored back there. It's all thrown away.
How long was it actually burning before they got it out?
Not very long.
No, that's happened really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, what he did was he lit a drain pipe on fire. We have a drain, in-ground drain that runs up around the base of the house. And it had silk wrap material on it, which is like a nylon, which burns really well. And that's how he got it going. This is the upstairs office. This is a door that goes out to that roof. They just tore all it's shiplap, the interior with wallpaper over it. They just tore that out.
You said cameras were back there.
What's that?
Cameras were back there and saw him. There's video footage of him having done that. How did 911 get called? Was it?
Somebody drove by.
Did they see a lot of flames by that time? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and it hadn't set off the fire alarm for the house yet because it was still outside.
Okay.
So, the fire on the 21st, the mayor, we put an emergency declaration up to the mayor's office. She signed that. Council approved it this last Tuesday. So what that does, it alleviates our requirement to do a full bidding process to get the house fixed. So we have met with WCIA, Washington City's Insurance Authority, which is the city's insurance pool, a couple different times at the house to talk about what we can do, what we can't do, how much money we have. The house, structure and contents is insured for about $1 million. If we go over $1 million, there are ways to do that, but I'm thinking we won't. We have hired Heritage Restoration, a company out of Chehalis that does this all the time, and comes highly recommended from our insurance people. And we're at the house again today, going over a timeline and scope of work things that they're going to do. The house has partial power right now. One of my main goals is to get full power back to the house, so not only so we have a fire alarm system again, but we also can fire up our security cameras and have that going as well. Yeah. Then it's a matter of, fixing the house, not really that difficult. As far as construction project goes, from you, I don't know.
We got a door guy.
Yeah.
They'll be close to
Interest.
No, we don't have to worry about that now. We have the emergency declaration.
Yep. So the
donation.
fixing the siding, fixing the siding is 1905, and it's not something you can go to Home Depot buy.
Right.
We've done work on these houses before. We've actually had to have knives made to cut the wood in a way that fits with what the house is. We may have to do that again, but we'll see on that. So fixing the house, the structure, not that big of a deal. The smoke damage inside, is a very big. The insurance company wants us to do test borings in the walls, to see if the smoke smell is with, into the walls, into the insulation. When they started talking about taking it's shiplap on the inside, right? So it's wood boards, wood ceiling and walls with wallpaper on it. Talking about taking it down to the studs and putting in new shiplap and new wallpaper. So then you start thinking, well, geez, $1 million, maybe
That's not gonna go very
enough.
far.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, but it's, whatever we do is being driven by insurance. It's also, oversight by, State Department of Architecture and Historical Properties. Because the house is on the city's historic register, and it's within the city's historic district, which is on the national register, there are certain things we can and can't do. Particularly on the outside, it has to look exactly like it looked before. But on the inside, we have a little more leeway, on how we do it. So, err on the side of we want to save as much money as we can. I am talking with the state about potential grants, to do restoration stuff through national parks, which is in charge of the historical properties programs. So if we need that, that will be there. It's almost unbelievable to me that we could spend $1 million on that fire that's only that big. Yeah. But we'll see where it goes. So, starting tomorrow, Heritage will be on site. We're pulling most of everything out of the house that's at least on the first and second floor. They're gonna take it back to their facility, do ozone treatment and, cleaning and things like that, as we get into, doing test holes in the walls and seeing how far we have to go to clean up. I'm really hopeful we don't have to, dig too far into that. The electrical system, well, it's not noven tube, it is not good. So, we will have to get a permit, and that's through the state, because the city doesn't do electric. So we'll have the people from L&I out there. They're gonna take one look at our breaker panel and say, yeah, we will be replacing that. How far that goes, I don't know. Once we have to bring it up to code, that could be for this house.
How much is the city out of pocket, like before insurance kicks in?
Right now, it's just staff time. So, yeah, not too bad. We had programs planned. We haven't had programs at the house since before COVID.
No.
We had a whole host of new programs planned this, summer.
Bummer.
Not doing those. So this is, figure about a 9-month project.
And of course, the big question is the result of the gentleman who started the fire, what's the update?
Well, he second-degree arson, he has mental issues, he has addiction issues. That's why he's living across the street. Certainly, he's not gonna pay us restitution for damage.
I wasn't expecting that. I was just simply
He
saying,
just,
what's
he may
been
go
the
to jail
result?
for a while, or he
Huh?
may get help somewhere for a while, I don't know. Once they reach that stage, we're out of it. There you go, segment. If you wanna see the house sometime, let me know, I can work.
Cameras at Crosby House working?
Hey, Crosby House. This house is the oldest, one of the oldest, if not the oldest house in Tumwater, 1865. Also owned by the city, and it's right across the street from the brewmaster's house. We did a study with Sargent Engineering last year, with measurements and lasers, and it was a year-long project to see if the house is continuing to settle, and it is. The vibration from I-5 and just the construction of the house continually have that kind of in motion. We're getting tear in the wallpaper at seams and at the ceiling wall connection. Floors have always been a little, suspect. It's an old house. But it seems to be getting a little worse. So we did the study. The study shows, it's continuing to move. The foundation is not helping. So we're putting a new foundation on the house this summer. It's one of our bigger ticket items, about $180,000 for a new foundation on the house. And what we're looking to do is we're going to lock it in place where it is now. We're not gonna try to level it, and make it perfect. We're gonna lock it into where it sits right now and try to keep it there. And then we'll go back through the house and do fixes on wallpaper and furnishings and things like that. Next year in the budget, we'll put a new roof on it, new gutters on it, and
So you can't do the programs there instead, it sounds like.
no, and you know, that house, we have an agreement with the Daughters of the Pioneers. Anybody familiar with the Daughters of the Pioneers? Yeah, so, they use the house, it's kind of their clubhouse. They have their meetings there and they have lunches there. You know, like a lot of, civic organizations, they're struggling for membership, like that. So as long as they continue to exist, we'll continue to have them at the house and they can use it. But we have the option of using it as well. Obviously, we own it and take care of it. If we want to have events there, we can.
I've never heard of them, and I've been here a long
So
time.
you can be a Daughter of the Pioneers if your ancestors were here before the train.
Well, not me. My ancestors were not.
Yeah, so if they were here before the train, meaning they had to come in a covered wagon or walk or ride a horse or do whatever, then they were truly a pioneer. Once the train made it here, anybody could do that.
I can see why they're
Put on your
struggling
wool
for
pants.
membership.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you can see the difficulty for them.
Yeah,
Trying to
I
find-
mean, not
trying to
just
find
anyone
new
can
members-
just,
New members that are still
none
alive.
of us qualify.
Right, well, you have to be a descendant, right? So
Well,
you-
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've all relocated from other
Yeah.
places for the
Yeah.
most part,
Came down
so.
from Fort Nisqually, you could, been descendant.
So that's it for this show. Okay, so, those are the major things going on. So the three things that affect you guys, is the park climbing at Trails End, that will be next month. Also next month, you're going to have to choose a name for the preserve park.
That's exciting.
So here's how that process goes, and it's written in city ordinance how this goes. So we had to formalize it because it became the thing. What we do is we advertise to the neighborhoods around the park site. Here's this park, here's what it has, what would you like it to be named? And just give us the name, and it'll probably be all social media stuff, or emails to our staff. And then we'll come up with a list of names, probably 50 names, or I would guess, that people send in, and there'll be all crazy names to good names to whatever. And the way the process goes is I go through all the names and I take out all the ones that are inappropriate. Which is most.
Take me left.
You know, they might make me laugh, but they can't. So, yeah,
Something
so
make part
it's, you know,
That's what you thought, I told you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, it's like sexual in nature or anti-government or, you know, just crude whatever, and, yeah. So I meant to take those out. Then the rest of the list, unedited, comes to you guys. And so you have to think about, you know, is there, and I'll give you the ordinance as well so you can read through it, but, you know, is there any historical significance to the park? Is there any single person that is probably dead that might have been significant to the park? Was there a donation that helped with the park? There's all kinds of things you can think of that might drive the name. And with this park, there's really not any of those.
There's really not.
So then it just becomes a free-for-all. What's a good name? Should it, you know, should it be another park named after an important female on water? Should it be named after something in nature? Should it be something more forward and modern looking? Should it be, I know we have a councilman who wants it to be named in recognition of police and people that are in the armed services. There's the whole gamut. You can see how it would go. So you have some time to go through the list. You have to pick your top three and agree on what it is.
Well, I'm gonna ask the question, because we have 3 new council members now, commissioners, sorry. We had this problem last time, that the council was wanting certain names before we even came up with our recommendation. Is that gonna repeat itself?
He's on it, he knows, he's
So
got
you're
it.
gonna give them their top three. In priority would be best. Here's our top, here's our second, here's our third. Then I take that to the city council, and say, yeah, here's the process we went through, here's what the park commission did, here's their top three, with the priority number one being this name.
And why?
And they're gonna look at that and go, and do whatever they want.
Okay.
So, I think they have yet to choose what the park board sends.
Well, I think this time when we do it, we don't give just the top three, we put why the top three, not just the data to support what we got from the community, but why we,
You
Speak on it?
you gonna be asked on
Is
it.
the council
Yeah.
required to choose?
Maybe I will.
Is the council required to choose one of the three that we've selected?
They do not,
They can
but,
do anything they
So
want.
regardless of what we do, they can
Yeah,
avoid
do
it.
whatever they want.
so, but the annoying thing
Yeah.
is it's not just that they pick something different. It's that they send it back to us and say, we want you to recommend this name.
Yes. Which is why I'm trying to say, if it's ahead of time, are they gonna do the same thing to us? Why don't they just tell us what they like, and we'll like,
Just tell me what you want me to say.
yeah.
That's what we're doing.
And the funny thing is, when they did that, we still tweaked it, and we actually compromised. I can't
We
remember
compromised
what it was.
on the, yeah.
There was
the
one
Deschutes
little
Valley
part
part.
of it. I think they wanted
Which part?
Isabella.
Well, Isabella Bush.
Yeah, that was the park, but I can't remember. They wanted Isabella Park?
And Deschutes Valley
And-
Park.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they did a
Both,
lot.
both times, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, both times they've done this to us, so
But I
I
feel like
just
the
wanna know if they
Isabella
already
Bush
have
one,
something in mind.
we
and-
made a point of saying, we don't want just Isabella's Park. We wanted Isabella Bush Park so that it was more clear of
That it
the
was
relationship
a
to the
relationship to the
community.
Yes,
And
exactly.
they accepted that amendment to their original plan.
Okay, so,
It's been still fun.
your game, yeah, it'll be good. Okay, so we've got, park planning, trails in, park naming, reserve, and we're also working on design for community center, which Aaron and Bill Klappa are currently your representatives on that committee, to pick a designer for the community center. So once that happens, and we kick that off, then that becomes a much larger community process. It'd be our largest, most expensive project we've ever done. So, as we define what community center is, what's going to be in it and where it should be, that's a huge project. So you'll all be involved in that, and that's starting.
So I'm confused, because in the minutes, didn't it say that they purchased land for this, for like there was something in the minutes about purchasing land for something that I thought was the community center. Maybe I totally made that up.
Yeah, totally made that up.
There's money, they're looking for a spot.
Right, and
Okay.
depending where the
There's
spot is.
Metropolitan Park funds available when they find the right piece of property.
Okay.
Because we're
We
trying
have,
to get money
we
from
have
City Limits
money
as well,
set
too.
aside to purchase land, that's what it is.
Maybe that's what it was, okay.
So we have almost $1 million set aside to purchase land, but,
Okay, because I saw a price and thought, oh, they must have a property then if they have a price for it, but.
it could be $1 million worth of land. We need about 10 acres. We've talked about swaps with the school district, I've looked at properties in the port, which you can't buy, but you can lease it for 50 or 100 years. Some of the good things about the port property, particularly towards, Tumwater Boulevard, Center Street area, is it's all trees right now. And while you'd have to go in and cut down the trees to build, pocket gophers don't generally live where there's lots of trees.
Yeah, they live in the prairies.
Yeah. So there's not that, pocket gophers are currently adding about $51,000 an acre to development. That's a big ticket. 10 acres.
They're back in our neighborhood again.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the park buying lots of treed acres and then cutting all the trees down is the best look.
Yeah. We're cutting all the trees down. So, the school district owns, almost 10 acres across the street from L&I, that was slated to be a school, and now it's not big enough to be a school, so.
Such a good
we're
spot.
gonna sell that, again, that's loaded with trees, and some really nice trees. That'd be another thing. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's a whole process. State DOT is moving from, or has moved from Capitol Boulevard, they're not there anymore, where their regional office building.
Out by Burger King
Yeah, that's another 10
and
acre
Key
site.
Bank,
Oh, they were over there?
The 3 roundabouts.
yeah.
I didn't know they were over there.
So,
Oh, I know which building you're talking about. The
Really old.
5100 building?
It looks like a motel
Or-
from the outside.
Yeah, okay, I remember that one from my childhood. I haven't really paid attention.
Yeah,
to
so
that.
there's some options, and that's part of that planning process that we'll go through with. So,
That
so
would be
there's stuff coming
fun,
up,
too.
stuff, that you guys will be involved in and doing.
Question. I heard about the YMCA trying to put in a building down Old 99 or 99 and 93rd come together?
What?
Am
Swimming
I,
area?
pardon me?
Come up for the swimming area, or are you talking about?
That's just down past the airport.
Yeah, past the airport on Old 99 where 93rd Avenue meets it. A development that had a YMCA and some retail space.
Yeah, we're talking with the Y about a couple of different things. For that idea, about the warehouse. Property over here, it's the old state parks, I can't remember who used to be. There's a series of 4 buildings there, and I think one of them's a church right now, one of them might be a karate place. We've talked with them about their idea of putting this one over there, gymnasium, R&D for gym. But nothing is, I mean, it's all just, let's throw ideas out and talk about what could maybe happen.
Okay.
So, that there's no commitment, no movement forward,
Okay.
just ideas right now.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't tell. It was one of those things on Nextdoor that popped up, and they had like a drawing and everything of where things would be, and I was like, how far along are they in this process? I haven't heard anything about this.
We'll just the same thing when they are proposing property for schools. They'll take a piece of land out there off of 68 and they'll say, we're gonna put a school out here, in 5 or 6 years, and they never do.
Right,
They
yeah.
have a whole site plan done and submitted, but they'll never do it. Because there's a site plan.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else?
We used to have, and maybe you two have, we used to have binders, for the Parks Commissioners that had,
The park plan?
Yeah,
park plan, budget.
yep, I had it.
Capital facilities plan.
You're gonna answer that.
Related ordinances to the Parks Commission. The Park Commission is for, how it's set up, all the rules for governing.
I think I still have it in my closet.
Yeah. Is that of value at all?
Yes.
Yes?
When I interviewed, I went and pulled all that stuff off the website,
Okay,
so I have it electronically, but, be nice to have a hard copy of it as well.
okay.
In case we need to reference it here.
I actually looked at it last month, and it has the old comprehensive park plan from like 15 years ago. Yeah.
It'd be really helpful in next month's meeting when the city, or when the people come in and start, grilling us on they want and don't want in that park, so.
Yeah.
We have a reference, little cheat sheet we can whip out and
Okay.
respond.
And the other thing that would.
I'd rather flip through something in paper than on.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
right here, it's not me.
Well, most of the drawings need to be updated that are in the binder.
The other thing that might be helpful for these guys particularly is kind of what our plan was for the Metropolitan Park District.
Yeah.
Yeah, that breakout budget with every,
Because that's kind of
everything
our
spent on. That
current
was good.
timeline. The park plan has priorities, but the MPD plan is
Yes.
more concise and it's what we're doing now.
It's updated because it has all the,
updated.
it
That's
has
the
all the
word.
survey data in it
Yep.
as well. That was done by both the telephone, the mail-in, and the online surveys, which is how we decided where the money went from the Metropolitan Park District. We got it. Versus the binder, which doesn't do that.
It's really old. I haven't looked at it in a long time.
Okay, new binders. Get right on that.
How much does MPD bring in annually right now, ballpark?
Just over $1 million. And it's at 45 cents per $1,000 of valuation. And in 2025, it's set to go to 75 cents.
Okay.
That's what pays for
Three
the
and a
community.
half. Okay.
You know, off the record, if we sold the naming rights for the Trails End Park, we can make some extra money that way.
Surprised at how hard that would be. Okay, so that's about all I have. If you guys have questions, if you have questions, but particularly if you guys have questions about what's going on or what's coming up or things like that, just always feel free to call me, email me, something like that. Or if you want to see something.
Well, that was the other thing I was thinking of. It might be a good time, not right this moment, and I know you're busy, but maybe Todd or somebody could take us around to the parks. See what's where.
The updates,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah, if you go to every single park, and the golf course in a day, and don't get out of the car, it's about half a day.
Mhm.
So if you wanna get out and look at stuff while looking at everything else, that's a long day. But if you want specific stuff, we can set that up. That's a great van driver. And he brings snacks.
Yes.
Oh, he's the
Yes,
king
get these
of
places. Delicious.
and transitions
Yeah.
for slideshows.
Mhm.
I'll have to do your thing for us. Okay, our next meeting is scheduled for March 15th. And it sounds like it's definitely happening,
Yes.
so that is exciting.
Can I ask what happens in November, December, and January meetings?
I was wondering that.
So December, we usually do a Christmas party with, it's a historic commission, us and staff. Oftentimes, we just don't have enough business to have a meeting every single month. Especially that happens when we come to June because of how busy these guys are with Fourth of July events, because there's a lot going on.
Is there a party in December?
I was not available.
Sorry, Shane, we didn't tell you.
I was out of town, so I didn't know about, if there was one, I ignored it.
Okay.
No, there was not. We had an issue with River's Edge, and Space, and then, talked to a couple other partners in the city, and it just didn't work out. So we didn't do it. But we will do it again.
I thought it was me, so.
No.
But we can always come to the volunteer dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. One thing to note, I did go to the Lacey Dog Park up by the landfill area, if you've ever been there or not. And it, as you see by pictures I took, it was filled with lots of people and dogs. This was a small dog park. And I talked to people because, dogs, and they asked the same thing: when is Olympia Tumwater gonna have a dog park? Like, well, I'll take pictures, I'll show how popular it is. This is the small dogs that are there. There's a whole big hillside full of big dogs. So, again, Chuck, I know we talk about this all the time.
Yeah, not.
We can figure out a way to put a dog park down this way somewhere. We'll make a lot of dog owners happy.
Absolutely. And a
Yeah.
swimming pool and a bunch of other stuff, but
But,
it's all about what does the city council want to fund?
exactly,
This year it was not dog park, because it's not just, building a dog park's cheap.
yeah.
It's taking care of it that costs the money, they're pulling about 500 pounds a week in
Yeah.
dog food out of that park.
Yeah, I'd be,
So that's a lot,
Who's in
for
charge of
staff.
that one?
Thurston County.
That's a county park,
Yeah.
okay.
and that's just half of the park, which is not picked up loop either. So I saw like
Yeah.
half the park isn't picked up.
There's a new one off the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great one in West Olympia,
Yeah.
but, you gotta have the staff take care of it.
Of course.
And then sure, it'd be great, people would love it.
Yeah.
So, and I think you'll see the skate park group back, as soon as the sun comes out again, another great facility.
I visited that, I made an unannounced visit there, and they weren't completely honest with us when they came to our group.
So you went to the Olympia skate park?
Yes.
So
So when they, out there by, Yager Park,
Dogs.
yeah, they weren't completely honest with us when they came by originally and asked for a skate park. I went out there and I saw totally different scenarios.
Well, it's
Oh.
supervised, different crowd at all times, it depends on when you go and who's there, and, how.
Well, they told us they all wear helmets, that wasn't true. They told us there wasn't any smoking out there. That's not true. There's a lot of things that I saw that just did
No,
not.
it could be a wild situation at skate parks, but it just depends on how it's run overall.
Yeah. But,
That wasn't Olympia's intent to have it run like that, but then they chose not to fund
right.
staffing, so that's what it's become.
But I have seen the City of Olympia police out there a lot, just patrolling in the area. So I'm not that way anyway, so that was truthful.
Park next to the police department, it's the best way it'll go.
We actually talked about it.
We talked about that.
We
Over by the library.
talked about that, like,
Makes the most sense.
Yeah, we had to take down those trees over there to do it, but.
Yeah, you cut down some more trees, you're gonna love it, you're gonna love this.
We had the plot for it, all it worked out perfectly by the police department, but, gotta take down some more trees.
We also plant trees, so
Yes, we do plant trees.
you do a lot of that.
all right. Well, I guess, we need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, we're gonna adjourn. I'll see you guys in March.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.
So how are those wells, wait, is that what they're called? Wells?
Kettles.
Kettles formed?
So glaciers over the whole area.